Looking back at UFC 320 on Saturday night when Alex Pereira took the light heavyweight title from Magomed Ankalaev in the main event. Also on that card, Merab Dvalishvili cemented his rep as one of the best bantamweights ever with a decision over Corey Sandhagen. Here to lay it all out, what it all means and what's next in the promotion is CBS Sports combat sports writer Shakiel Mahjouri. Shakiel, it's great to see you. Let's start with Pereira here, whose impressive 80-second stoppage just dropped jaws. What's next for him?
Well, Alex has lofty ambitions. CBS Sports' Brian Campbell had a bit of a prediction that he nailed on his head, because during the post-fight interview in Las Vegas at the T-Mobile Arena, Alex said he had a speech prepared, but kind of pivoted to taking a moment of silence for Jon Jones' late brother, NFL star Arthur Jones. And Brian had predicted that maybe Alex was going to call out Jon, and that's exactly what happened during the post-fight presser. Alex didn't want to get into the details too much because he didn't seem to think it was an appropriate time after Arthur's passing. But what Alex did say is he wants Jon Jones at the White House at heavyweight. It's a lofty goal. It would certainly be a fight worthy of that White House card in June. But it's a little complicated because in August, Dana White said there's about 1 billion to 1 chance that Jon Jones fights on that card. We don't know all the details about what happened between them, but between what's been said publicly and what's been reported, there's a sense that the UFC agreed to Jon's terms for a fight between him and, at the time, interim heavyweight champion Tom Aspinall. Allegedly, Jon pulls out at the final hour, vacates the title. And so it's kind of hard for the UFC to trust that Jon Jones will follow through on a fight right now, no matter how much Jon bangs the drum for, I want to be at the White House. Well, where does that leave Alex? Dana's a little cold on the idea of him moving to heavyweight. If Alex wants Jon Jones and can somehow convince the UFC, you have that on the table. If Alex wants to go right up to heavyweight, I would give him the winner of Tom Aspinall versus Cyril Gane that happens at the end of this month, because there's not really any enticing or interesting heavyweight contenders at the moment. If Alex chooses to stay put at light heavyweight, there's only one contender that really fits the bill, and that's number 3 ranked Carlos Ulberg. He's on about a 9-fight winning streak right now. He's a KO artist. It isn't the sexiest fight, but it's certainly something you can headline a pay-per-view with. I know a lot of people are banging the drum for Jiří Procházka. It's a tough sell against Alex, and I think we'll get to that very shortly.
All right, well, 1 in a billion chance, but there's still a chance there. Getting back to Saturday night, though, I want to ask you, where does Ankalaev go from here?
Man, that was bad. I've seen smatters of people calling for an immediate title match, but I don't think that's warranted. In my opinion, and this is ultimately up to the matchmakers, but I think immediate title fights should only be reserved for dominant champions, guys who've established themselves as the true number one. For Magomed Ankalaev, he won a close decision against Alex Pereira in March. Fast forward a few months and he gets knocked out in 80 seconds, like you said, Jordan. So he doesn't really have a claim, in my opinion, to fight for the title immediately. With everything that's going on with Alex and trying to fit his next fight into the calendar, everyone else is sort of going to have to wait and see where Alex falls in line, and then we can start working through the rest of the division. But he's definitely not getting a title shot, Ankalaev, and so I think the best thing you could do with him is maybe book him against Khalil Roundtree Jr., who lost on Saturday, or possibly Jiří Procházka. For me, here's the thing. Jiří, second biggest star in the light heavyweight division. It's hard to book him against Alex Pereira because Jiří has lost twice to him, and it was decisive. If Alex is going to fight Carlos Ulberg, Magomed versus Jiří makes the world of sense to me. If not, Magomed's going to need time off after that KO loss. Khalil Roundtree is going to need time off after his brutal KO loss. Maybe we can pair those guys together down the stretch.
Let's get to this co-main now. Dvalishvili continues to be one of the best pound per pound performers in this promotion. Who's up next for him?
I think the easy choice is Petr Yan. Now, people will say Merab beat Petr a few years ago. It was a very one-sided decision. But this is one of those moments in time where, in my opinion, the matchmaking around Merab shouldn't be who is necessarily the best guy to fight him, who's most deserving, who's going to give him the toughest test. What I think that UFC has a very unique opportunity to do right now is crown Merab as the undoubted bantamweight GOAT. You see right there on the screen, 117 takedowns. It's a UFC record. He's the first guy to clear 3-digit takedowns in the UFC. And he's just smashing records left and right. 13 win streak in the bantamweight division, that's a record. One more fight, and he'll tie Aljamain Sterling for all-time bantamweight wins. One more title defense, and he'll tie DJ Dillashaw for 5 bantamweight title defenses. And what's most important to Merab, and why I think the UFC should do everything they can to get him a fight before January 18th, is Merab is on the cusp of being the only UFC fighter to make 4 successful title defenses in 12 months or less. Book Merab a fight. Piotr's ready. He's deserving of the rematch, and let's crown Merab without a shadow of a doubt as the best bantamweight ever.
Shakiel Mahjouri, great to see you. Great analysis as we discuss a dramatic UFC 320 and what's next.